Sunday night lights were too bright for Texas, so they made sure Ohio State stayed in the shadows.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And during this Buckeye Blitz, we'll discuss some of the biggest storylines surrounding Ohio State's Week 1 matchup with Texas, because this game just got another big storyline, as it has been reported by 24/7 Sports that Ohio State was talking to Texas and pushing Texas and urging them to play the Week 1 matchup, which could be a top 5 game, on Sunday night in August, Labor Day weekend. But Texas said no. And as I'm thinking about just that statement, that Ohio State's going to Texas, encouraging them and urging them to be okay playing the game in prime time, and Texas saying no, Ohio State's comfortable playing at home in any time period. But they also know this kind of matchup, a top 5 matchup, which rarely happens inside Ohio Stadium, deserves the biggest spotlight it can get. And when it comes to Week 1, yeah, you can play on a Thursday. You can play in Week 0. You can even play in prime time on that Saturday night. But it's very, very special to play on a Sunday night on Labor Day weekend. Yes, Ohio State, if this game was in primetime on Sunday, they'll be going up against Notre Dame and Miami. So that's not just any old game. That's one of them big boy games that rarely comes around. But we all know when it's Ohio State and Texas and Notre Dame and Miami, which game do you think would get the bigger ratings? Ohio State and Texas. However, I don't even really think the schools and the coaches and the players really care about who they're going up against. They just want the biggest spotlight available. That's it. Think about throughout the history of college football, as there have been a lot of Sunday night games, Labor Day weekend and Week 1. You have probably watched some very, 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 very closely. Some from the opening kickoff until the final buzzer sounded, to where you know game by game and play by play what went down during that game. Because that game is special. Very, very special. And so I do think in that moment, those games mean a whole lot. Now, Ohio State, who rarely gets primetime games, especially when these type of big-time matchups, I absolutely love that they're going out there and pushing Texas and urging them to play the game on a Sunday in primetime. And it wouldn't be unlike Texas to play on a Sunday night. They've done it before in the past 10 years. I remember they played, of all teams, Notre Dame in primetime on a Sunday night, where I forget, was a backup quarterback this time. This is a while ago when Charlie Strong was a coach, but they made some big plays down the stretch and beat Notre Dame there. Now, that one, it was in Austin, Texas, but it was still a big-time game, a game where they got the spotlight and they showed out. Well, Ohio State, in recruiting, they would massively benefit from this game. Because with it being Labor Day weekend, yeah, youngsters don't have to go to school on that Monday. However, there are a lot of recruits that may want to go to multiple games that weekend on the unofficial visits if they have the means to, because they don't have to go to school on Monday. And there's going to be a lot of big-time matchups in Week 1. And if Ohio State can have the opportunity to have recruits there on unofficial visits, they're all weekend long, getting to know the campus, getting to really get a feel for Columbus, and really getting a better feel for what a build-up on a game day is like, that would be so huge. So I understand the massive benefits for Ohio State on the recruiting side, just even for the players. You want to play those big-time matchups on the biggest stage to get everybody to watch. For Texas to say no, I understand why. Because of what happened to Tennessee last year. Tennessee came into the shoe. They were cocky. They came in for some odd reason, decided to come into the shoe, warming up with no shirts on. Stupid. Very, very dumb. But they did that thing, and what happened? They got ran out of the stadium. Well, that's the last game that was played in the shoe, which means that's the last game that Texas players saw Ohio State play in the shoe, and they were like, man, that's what that stadium was like when there were when it was filled with 30 to 35% of the away fans. Think about what it's going to be when that stadium is filled with loud, wild fans filled with that liquid courage. It's going to be a raucous crowd, an insane environment. And maybe Texas was trying to dodge that primetime smoke. I don't know. But it sure seems like the Sunday night lights are too bright, and they are trying to leave Ohio State in the shadows. I get it. I understand it. But I also get this. This is adding fuel to the fire. A fire that is already full of many big-time big boy storylines to hype up a game that will probably be a top 5 matchup. We'll dive into some of those storylines after the break. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off, and they also got some live player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you're new to FanDuel, this is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Once again, I got to say that twice because that was so good hearing it the first time. New to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for tapping and Locked on Buckeyes and making this bonus pod a part of your day, because news like this just adds to the already action-packed and jam-packed storyline book regarding this game. I mean, think about it. Now it's a game on Fox where it was reported that the game was at 12 noon, but now it's coming out that the game has not been officially announced at 12 noon. So we're not sure when the game's going to be kicked off as of right now, but we do know the kickoff time is going to be up for debate, and there's going to be some conversations about that. Arch Manning versus potentially Julian saying, "Get your popcorn ready, baby." That's a game that could have a lot of fireworks between these two quarterbacks. I know Arch Manning is someone that has a lot of people saying he has not showed all the goods yet. Okay, he was in a backup role behind Quinn Ewers, and he was learning, kind of the understudy. He was in a good role for him at the time, but now the keys to the offense are his. It's time to see what he's got. And there's no better test than to showcase your skills against Ohio State. Now, it would be very, very easy for him to back out and to back down and to not rise to the occasion. But I've never met a Manning that does, Eli's different. Manning's rise to the occasion. Archie Manning, even Cooper Manning, where he didn't play past high school because he had to medically retire at a very young age. Cooper was a dog for what we've heard. So Manning's rise to the occasion. And you know what I expect Arch to do? Rise to the occasion and play big against Ohio State that day. I also think Julian saying, who I am going to call QB1 right now. I know Ryan Day hasn't made the official announcement yet, but I think he's going to win that title. Great. If it's Keenholz, great. Rise to the occasion. You want this moment to test yourself against one of the best defenses in the country to see what you've got. Oh, another storyline? Literally, let's think about this. Ohio State's D-line is a unit that is very inexperienced. At D-tackle, you're not sure what the depth's going to look like. There's a guy at Ohio State, in Hero Canoe, who is now down at Texas. He transferred to the Longhorns. And the thought was, if he stayed at Ohio State, he would be the third D-tackle. Great. Goes down to Texas. He still might be the third D-tackle because Texas has a team full of really good defensive tackles. That's another one, a former Buckeye playing the Buckeyes in week 1. Think about this. Ryan Day versus Sark. The last time these two teams played, Ohio State won. I believe it was 28-14. Jack Sawyer scoop and score 82 yards down the right sideline of the field. Well, if you're watching the game, I believe it was the top of the screen, left sideline if you're watching it. And what does that mean for Sark? He wants payback. What does Ohio State want to do? Do what they did the last time these two plays, to do that thing again. Basically run it back. Hey, that wasn't no fluke. We beat y'all. Y'all were down 7 on third down. What happened? We made a big play. Even though those guys are gone, we got a lot of new guys here. What do we have right now? A lot of really good players. For Matt Patricia, I mean, the storylines keep going. Matt Patricia, first game as Ohio State's defensive coordinator, coming in and replacing Jim Knowles, who is now at Penn State. We're going to dive into more about him all throughout the offseason because that is something to talk about maybe multiple times until those teams play. Patricia comes in, a guy that came to Ohio State with some baggage, a guy that had to prove that he's learned some lessons throughout his career, a guy that hasn't been in college since 2003, a guy that has won a lot of Super Bowls. So he had a lot of really good things on his resume, things that make him very, very unique and overqualified for this position. He also has some things that he had to fix. While he had to fix them, he can show a lot of promise and a lot of growth and prove a lot of doubters wrong in week 1 against Texas. I mean, the list can go on. Oh, also, let me just add this one to you. The last time Texas came to Ohio State, Texas won. Vince Young was the quarterback. And this time, this is a young quarterback that a lot of people are saying is a Heisman candidate. I don't want to go that far yet because I haven't seen enough. I know what the projections are about what he can be. But to say right now that Arch Manning is going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate week 1, I mean, you make your own list. You can make your own candidates up. I don't know if he'll be a guy that the latter part of the season will be top 5 in Heisman. I just can't say that right now. But Ohio State in the history-filled program that it is, that's going to come up by Texas and Ohio State. This game has so many storylines. And the fact that it has been reported by 24/7 Sports that Texas basically blocked Ohio State's attempt for this to be a primetime game on a Sunday night, Labor Day weekend. Come on, man. I understand it. I'm sure you don't care about Notre Dame and Miami because if you're thinking about TV ratings, you're thinking about the wrong stuff if you're a football team. That game deserves a primetime spotlight. It would be great if it was on Sunday night. I don't care if they're going up against Notre Dame and Miami. Many of us use YouTube TV or watch use things that you can get a picture-in-picture. You will figure out how to watch both games if you want to watch both games, even if picture-in-picture is not something you're able to get on your television screen. That's fine. Great. You got a phone. You got laptops. Got tablets. You would figure out how to watch both games at one time if you really wanted to. So I don't care about who the other game is as up against that one. Not a big deal. For Texas, this could be a big thing for them too. Could be a big stage for the Longhorns. But they blocked it. They said no. Y'all dodging that primetime smoke? Y'all still might have to get that primetime smoke on a Saturday night because if Fox was smart, I don't believe they can actually contractually with Major League Baseball. But if there was a way for Fox to put this in primetime, so be it. If they can't put it in prime time, put it in the afternoon slot. Don't put it at noon, like was actually reported. I actually read an article before coming on the show discussing this game being a noon kickoff. Well, can't wait. The more I think about it, the more I just look forward to Labor Day weekend, week 1 of the season, for these two teams to play. Thank y'all for tapping into this Locked on Buckeyes bonus episode and making this a part of your day. Now the perfect time to also make the portal a part of your day too, because my guy, Brian Smith, is a guy to keep you up to date on college football recruiting, NIL, the transfer portal, and the ever-changing landscape of college football. You can find Locked on Buckeyes and the portal on the YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes right here and making it an extra dose of Buckeyes on whatever day this is. We'll see you next time.